Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. There has been massive accumulation of XRP even above the $1 level. In fact, there was massive XRP accumulation even near the $2 level. And I think once XRP hits its all-time high, its previous all-time, well, current all-time high of almost $4, that's going to be, I mean, look, maybe it's going to be a strong level of resistance initially, but at some point, it's going to take off beyond that, even if there is initial resistance right around that level. And I still think you're going to see, the damn thing just rocket in terms of price action. I really firmly believe that. And so it's not just XRP that's been getting accumulated. There's this story, in fact, from the Daily Hodl about continued accumulation of Bitcoin. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about XRP because I've got a couple metrics I do want to share with you with updated data on that front. And then for fun, I'll wrap up the video with this. Have you heard about this? This is just truly entertaining to me. Here's a headline from CNBC. Charlie Munger calls Bitcoin disgusting and contrary to the interests of civilization. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's stupid. STOOPID, stupid. But I want to share with you some of the completely illogical stuff that he stated and how his position on crypto in general will age like a fine milk. But I do want to be clear at the outset. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos as a fun hobby about Ripple and XRP and crypto, but that's all that's going down right here. And so take a look at this piece from the Daily Hodl. Bitcoin whale behavior shows massive Bitcoin accumulation above $50,000. Crypto quant chief Ki Youngju is unveiling how Bitcoin whales are playing the market as Bitcoin consolidates between $50,000 and $60,000. Yeah, and so I know it's been kind of boring in terms of price action, mostly over the last several days or so. But this happens. Unfortunately, the most fun price action happens a very small percentage of the time, but here we are consolidated. Anyway, so in a new tweet, the head of the on-chain analytics platform says that he's witnessing large Bitcoin transfers that are likely happening over the counter, or OTC for short. So over the counter, in case you are unaware, and many of you may be unaware, there's so many new people jumping into crypto right now. If you're purchasing cryptocurrency on exchange, those are spot purchases. You're talking about spot exchanges. Well, here's the thing, though. These cryptocurrency exchanges have massive quantities of the cryptos that you can trade on them. So yes, you can buy from another individual that will trade with you on their platform. That's the purpose of an exchange. But the cryptocurrency exchanges themselves have huge quantities of crypto. And so, it can be hard to if you're like a whale, if you want to purchase just a ton of a particular crypto, there could be instances where on a single exchange there just isn't enough for sale at that exact moment. Like it may not be listed for sale on one individual exchange. And so if you want to buy that, especially if you don't want to impact the market, like what can you do? Well, the answer is you purchase over the counter, which means that you can do this with all sorts of exchanges. Coinbase, Binance US, I don't know a list of every single exchange that does it, but probably I would guess just about all of them would offer. So I don't know why they wouldn't. And so if you want to purchase large quantities, you just purchase from the exchange directly, and these transactions are invisible. Now, if you're talking about actually moving Bitcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain, for example, well, yeah, that's a pseudo-anonymous transaction right there. Like it's a public blockchain, so it's not like names are necessarily attached to it, but you can see all these transactions occurring. But when I say it's invisible, what I'm talking about is that this is not shared on any exchange on the planet. The fact that transaction occurred, yes, you can see it on the blockchain. You don't see it on the cryptocurrency exchange. And so immediately after these transactions happen, it does not impact the price of whatever crypto just got purchased because it wasn't even seen. Now, ultimately, it does have an impact on the price, whether it's Bitcoin or XRP. It doesn't matter. Pick your crypto. Eventually, supply and demand dynamics do play out, and so if there's less, Bitcoin or XRP to be purchased, less available, of course that's going to be a factor. Because just imagine, so if say you got one whale that jumps in, well, what if another 1,000 or million whales, just make some crazy big number? What if they all come in and purchase the same amount? Eventually, you're gonna have the markets notice that there's less available, right? But in the short term, yeah. And so what you're seeing here is some of these larger purchasers are still seeing lots of opportunity in the market, which I just found to be fascinating. Now, I wanted to share another update on number of XRP accounts being created right now. And it's worth noting, you may have heard me say this in the past, but I need to repeat it because there's so many new people coming on board, and it's worth knowing this. A little over a year ago, early 2020, it was normal for about 500 new XRP accounts to be created per day. Right now, what you're normally seeing is like upwards of close to 7,000 on some days, and maybe on the lower end, like a little over 5,000 new accounts per day. Now, mind you, this is happening because there's tons of interest around XRP, new people putting money in. Even at these prices right now, people are seeing this as a tremendous opportunity. It's so funny to see it as more of an opportunity now that it costs more than when it didn't cost much at all, because now it's been validated a little bit more, right? Hasn't it? Now the prices went up. Now they're interested. Now there must be something to it, right? So anyway, all these accounts being created, and I just wanted to highlight this. I keep tracking this metric and a number of other metrics, and it's just positive. You wait. I still expect that you're going to see new account activations in the tens of thousands on individual days when we get closer to that. That previous all-time high. Well, okay, I keep saying current. It's XRP's current all-time high of a little shy of $4. And then once it smashes through that, my gosh, because people don't want to buy stuff when it's cheap. It's too scary when it's cheap. It's not validated. But now that it costs more, but again, it is good to see that's being validated, and since that there's people seem to think there's a lot of opportunity there. And also worth noting, there are now 2,885,027 XRP accounts. During the last market cycle, there's more like 1 million. So you got like 3 times as many accounts in existence. But I think it's a lot more than 3 times as many people trading XRP. And the reason I say that is because I think most people are not setting up their own cold storage, their own wallets for cold storage. I think that most traders are just purchasing XRP on exchange and leaving it there, which I think is dangerous. But that I do believe that's what most people are doing. It's easier than going to the trouble of taking custody of your own crypto. And so, given that there's shared wallets on cryptocurrency exchanges, that's not going to be the influx of all these people. It's not entirely reflected in that number. I think there's probably way, way, way more than 3 times as many people on XRP. So I just think that XRP, I don't think it's being given enough credit as far as the potential. Where this could go in terms of price action. Maybe you get it because you're listening to a channel like this that's XRP centric, and so maybe like you don't have this ridiculous Bitcoin maxi troll bias, where it's a banker's coin scam, all that crap. But so many people are just not giving it sufficient credit for what I think it's ultimately going to prove to do. So we shall see. Now to this, Charlie Munger calls Bitcoin disgusting and contrary to the interests of civilization. Now that is dramatic. Anyway, Berkshire Hathaway Vice Chairman Charlie Munger's disdain toward Bitcoin has only intensified amid the digital assets record run this year. Of course, I hate the Bitcoin success, the 97-year-old Munger said during a Q&A session at Berkshire's annual shareholder meeting Saturday. I don't welcome a currency that's so useful to kidnappers and extortionists and so forth, nor do I like just shuffling out your extra billions of dollars to somebody who just invented a new financial product out of thin air. Oh, no. I see that, and I'm just like, that really steams my vegetables. Because, think about it, so I have to question, is he being disingenuous? Or does he just have bad information? Because if you want to engage in nefarious activities and your nefarious activities involve moving value of any kind, you'd be better off using, for instance, the United States dollar, not Bitcoin, which has a public blockchain which can be tracked and is tracked. Like, how do you think the Silk Road guy got caught? And all the other participants that were major players purchasing all sorts of, that was all tracked. Okay, so if he actually believes that this is used for purposes of extortion, this and that, that's nonsense. And in fact, there's data to indicate that type of activity is I can't remember the numbers, so I won't make them up, but it may be like a fraction of a percent of the transaction. It's whatever it is, it's effectively nothing. Where we see actually happen is people that want to engage in those activities, they do use fiat currency instead. Ideally physical, paper money, metallic currency. That because that They hand it from one person to the next. Good luck tracking that, my friend. It's not on a blockchain. Now, as far as this idea of it, he doesn't want to put billions of dollars into something, a new financial product that was created out of thin air. Do you mean like the United States dollar was created out of thin air? Do you mean like that? Do you want your billions in that? Because it was created out of thin air. What the hell is wrong with that? And what is it about it, Bitcoin being created by a human that makes it bad? Should it have just existed in nature and we discovered it? Oh my gosh, I just found a blockchain out in the wilderness. Let's use this thing. No, that is not how this works. That does not make sense. There's nothing inherently bad about it because it's created by a person. It's lines of computer code. And if people value that makes sense. If they value it for any reason, that's fine. Of course, especially if you're having business models exist that otherwise could not exist, which is what's so appealing to me about XRP. It's functionally getting used in enterprise-grade software. Well, how about that? I don't care if it was created out of thin air. So what? I find that much less repulsive than what's happening by dollars being created out of thin air. The debasement of the United States dollar and other fiat currencies around the world, that's much more despicable because it has market cap infinity effectively. At least with XRP and Bitcoin, you know what you're getting. It's a finite amount. So it's just completely ridiculous. Like this perspective and the valuation model that he puts on this, it's just completely out of line with what I would say makes logical sense here. And so anyway, this continues. Here's a quote. I think I should say modestly that the whole damn development is disgusting and contrary to the interests of civilization. That's a quote from Munger, a legendary investor in his own right, this article states. So this is contrary to the interests of civilization. Okay, do you want to tell that to the people in the United States that moved to the United States from, for instance, Mexico, and are using cryptocurrencies in the background to send money back to their families, saving them substantial amounts of money compared to what they would otherwise have to pay? Do you want to tell them that that's not to their interest? It's not a benefit of to civilization in general. The fact that these technological advances exist and can only exist with a technologically sufficient decentralized cryptocurrency that also has an open market price. Do you want to tell them that? Because that's stupid. STOOPID, stupid, Mr. Munger. That doesn't make a damn bit of sense. Warren Buffett, who avoided the initial question on Bitcoin earlier, responded to Munger's answer and said, quote, I'm all right on that one. So there you go. Two guys that don't know what the hell they're talking about. They have poor valuation models. And if it were up to them, if they could just all make this magically go away, it would be to the harm of civilization. That's where I stand on this. You can let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll wrap up here, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.